I've let this bolt, this epoxy, dry all night. It went in there yesterday evening. This is the next morning, and I feel so much better about the strength of that wrist. A stock can always move a little. It's wood, and it's going to give a little bit. I just feel a lot better because whenever I'm cranking on this and I'm planing this and sanding this, I'm putting a lot of pressure right in there in the weakest place. So I feel a lot better that it's beefed up. I never have broken one working on it, but I've bent them. I've wiggled them around a lot. This is a very friendly grain right here. Very straight. No knots, no little curly places, just a nice straight grain. You can get a little bit more relaxed and take off a little bit more with the tool you're using, and it's a nice straight grain. What I'm doing now is looking at this top surface. The top of this surface needs to be slim, widen out to fat. It's probably the fattest place around right in here, and then taper back down. It's like a canoe. It's like the hull of a canoe that starts out pointed and then gets wide and then points again. It needs to flow. It needs to be aesthetically pleasing, and it needs to be strong. Now that plane's chattering a little bit right there. The grain is not as happy being cut that direction or that much. I'll turn it around and pull it. Always listen to the grain. The grain will tell you which way it wants to be worked. And in this case, if you want to work it well, the grain is always right. It's like the counselor told the guy, you want to be married or you want to be right? That is a sharp, sharp plane iron, if I do say so myself. All I'm doing is looking at the width of this top and comparing it to what I'm cutting. When this gets the same as that, I stop. And I'm about there. I just realized something. Never thought about this before, but I usually start and get the right side of me, my right side, correct. Whatever I'm doing. I guess it's because I'm right-handed and it's easier for me to operate the plane this way. But I always get the right side done first and then I'll match the left to it. I guess it's a right-handed thing. This area right back here at the back of the receiver, where it goes into the grip, is a sudden dip. It's fat here, and then all of a sudden it just whoop, and it just drops into that. So that's one of your most sudden transitions. Just a little quick explanation. If you know what chatter is, that, it's those little shadows, those little chunks missing, that's chatter. That's where the plane and the wood grain are disagreeing. When they're digging in, that's chatter. Now that'll sand out, that'll come out. I was talking about not arguing with wood grain. There's a little bit of chatter. Okay, there's a little turn in the grain, just a little, see that little dot? That's like a kind of a pseudo knot, and it just turns the grain from there to there. The grain just shifts the wrong way, and the plane digs into it. Now, when I was planing this side, the plane was going with the grain pretty much till I got up into here, but on this other side, I was planing it and causing chatter for a reason, just to show you this. This is an infestation of chatter. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that, because I'm not down to level yet, but that's what chatter looks like. Now it comes out, when you're on a straight grain piece of wood and the grain is going the wrong way, it causes chatter, but it does plane easy with less effort. You can remove a lot of wood quickly in that case. You got to leave yourself enough room to clean that up. All right, I moved my light over here because when it's in the center, it throws a shadow and you can't really see well. But if I put that light just right, you can see the chatter. I was planing this direction and causing chatter. One stroke going the correct way, and you can see the chatter disappear. When you cut it the way it wants to be cut, it'll achieve a clean look. Now, I left enough wood here to do this because I knew that it was digging out. See, you can see there's still little bitty holes in it. That's how deep it goes when you chatter. See those little holes? Watch them disappear. That's just by going in an agreeable direction with the grain. It's that simple, but it's also maddening if you don't understand the system and how it works. This is that process of blending. Earlier I told you about how you get all this in here right all the way up to here, and then you got to work this down and blend it together. Well, I'm blending, so all that 220 and 320 and perfectly slick sandpaper I put in here, now I've got 150 scratching it up again, but I'm blending. Just want to point out something, if I can get my light to cooperate. If you'll remember, I put some, like a facet, a flat that came out. It's a relief area for your trigger finger. It's upside down, I can't hardly show it to you, but when your finger is sitting in here reaching for a trigger, it doesn't need to have resistance over here. So I facet that, I flatten it out. Well, that was very pronounced at one time, that bevel. Now that I've taken this surface down, but you can still see what remains of that. It's an outline of a spear point. And it's those little subtleties of shapes that merge into other shapes and make little lines, little subtle lines, like this bottom line around that bottom metal right now is crisp. I haven't rounded that at all. I've left it there so I can keep up with a little flat edge right here. it needs to be the same width on both sides. I don't really have a way of putting a caliper on there and measuring that, but I can just view it. You can too. The human eye is amazingly sensitive. Like, you can tell that this side right here in that spot is a little bit thinner than that side. It's just a few thousandths, but you can see it if you look for it. And so I leave those edges, those lines. You can see that little point. It comes up to a point on both sides. And that's the difference in custom stocks and factory stocks. Those little differences. See, this flat where I first surfaced this thing with a 50 grit block on this bottom edge, it was all flat. From here all the way back to there was flat. There's a little bit of that flat left. You can see it tapers down and gets down and down and down. It kind of rounds out about right there. There's no more, hardly any. There's about 1/8 of an inch of flat left right there. And then it just gets wider and wider and wider and wider. And when you round that, and I won't leave that line there. I have before in some guns. My 1022, I left a real sharp line, a point came out, and actually had almost a little schnabel thing right there. It's kind of funky, but just those little subtleties is what makes a custom stock. That little flat that's still there, that's all that's left of the whole bottom of that stock that I flattened off with a sand block a few hours ago. That's all that's left of it, and that's all I want of it. It's just flat to right in there and right back to there, and it stops. And this little flat right here, the bevel, it's just a little tiny line. It's like that little bitty pinstripe on the side of a black Cadillac. I don't know why factories don't do more stuff like this. I don't know if it's that they can't, or it's just more trouble than what it's worth, or they just choose not to, or production cost thing. I don't know. Little things like that. It's kind of like what Chesterton said. It's not that Christianity has been tried and found wanting. It's that it's been perceived difficult and never tried.